football games this weekend.
Who's playing?
Oh, damn it. You had to ask that, didn't you? I think Arkansas State, our first opponent in Memphis or somebody. We're not a high-powered beginning of the year type of scenario like an Alabama or Florida
I
State.
don't think anyone cares at this point.
Nope.
I bet it'll get a high viewership.
I bet you it will.
So appreciate that. All right, let me get back over here so that you won't fire me. Thank you, Steve.
Holy, geez, there's Leon.
Got a lot of people on this morning.
Yeah. What happened?
Mhm.
You guys must have done something.
Either they're guilty of feeling guilty about something or whatever. I don't know.
We're here to keep an eye on you.
Oh, well, but I'm innocent.
I was David Adams.
Well,
Okay, it's time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Rise. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. So, public comment, and Julie, you want to start? Can't hear you.
I gotta find my mute button. Now can you hear me?
Okay, now you got it.
Okay, just have a quick update for you. So we had a pretty big increase since Monday's news release. We had 68 more from Monday to Wednesday. That put us at 674 confirmed positives. And I know that as of last night, we had 33 more come from Lafayette. So we will add that to our total. So that 674 is without those 33 that came in last night. But out of those 674, 290 are considered active, and we've had 379 recover. At this time, the hospital does have one COVID positive patient. By the looks of things, it looks like they are going to go ahead and discharge them today, so they will have nobody in the hospital. We currently have 178 tests pending, and we've had a total of 6,378 negative tests in the county. So we are going to see that sharp increase this week, and we'll get you that percent positive at the end of the week. Last week, at the end of the week, we were at 11.67%. We're looking at hosting possibly 2 more free clinics coming up after Labor Day. I'm working with KDHE to work on the logistics, and hopefully Hy-Vee will decide to offer free meals again this time around. So as you recall from my Monday's report, we did have about almost 500 that came through the last one. So it was very successful. Therefore, we want to go ahead and do another one. Everything else is status quo. We did have a meeting last night with the doctors, with the clinical task force group. They are seeing an increase in how many people they're seeing in their office and how many tests they're doing. So I think that will be the case now for a while. We still have our swabbing station up. We are seeing an increase in folks coming through the swabbing station, as well as those that are calling the screening line. So that's my update.
How many come from the students?
Most of the new positives are from the 18 to 24 age range.
Okay.
shouldn't we probably be seeing a sharp increase in recoveries at some particular point in time here too?
Yep, absolutely. Our contact tracers are very busy, and every day they call their contacts to see how they're doing. So yeah, we'll see that recovery number go up.
Okay.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Anybody else up there, Dave or Leon? I guess
No,
not.
sir. No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Guess that leaves us, you have something.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Deanne Bro on behalf of the REACH Committee. I have an Employee of the Month to nominate this month. However, it's going to look a little bit different because my Employee of the Month is not here.
Okay.
So I'm going to read her nomination. It is for Julianne Wirtz in the Appraiser's Office. The nomination reads, I nominate Julianne Wirtz from the Appraiser's Department to be considered for the Riley County Employee of the Month. My reasons for nominating this person are, I am nominating Julianne for Employee of the Month because of her consistent professional demeanor when working with citizens, even when they are disrespectful or out of line in any other way. She has a calming manner in which she explains the reasoning for assessments of the properties which the citizens calm down to a level of understanding. The valuable trait has created positive values for properties throughout Riley County. And this was anonymous. I do have her certificate and I will get a picture with her, but she was not able to attend this morning. So
Okay, well, thank you.
you're welcome. I did want you to hear her
Yes.
nomination.
Good.
Yes,
thank
Yes,
you for your time.
congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess if there is no other public comment, John, you're on.
Okay. Well, Monday, I attended the intergovernmental meeting, of course, via Zoom here in the chamber. Good discussion all around on the region's childcare needs and challenges that we're facing. I would naturally assume that'll continue to be a discussion here moving forward, and particularly with the community needs assessment coming out now. I'm very, very glad that we are keeping the same day and the same time for meetings moving forward. It looked like that was kind of a consensus there too.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty solid that that'll stay in place. Also on Monday, I spoke with Jason Smith and Darren Sullivan from the Chamber of Commerce. Discussed a recent appointment on the NACO committee, the Community Economic Development Workforce Committee. I'm going to meet with their separate subcommittee on economic development on September 23rd, I think it is, and get a chance. I have that written down at home. It didn't transfer it over to my other calendar, so I think it's the 23rd or somewhere in there. It's the same morning that I'll actually meet with the national committee for the first time too, so kind of works out pretty well. On Tuesday, I joined in on a NACO webinar. This was a discussion about data-driven metrics and how to use that to make innovative approaches to ensuring that local business, retailers, and restaurants can operate safely both in and then post-pandemic, hopefully when we get there. Had some really good information and also made me realize that a lot of some of those discussed practices are actually things that we already have in place. So maybe we're actually a little bit ahead of the curve already on that one, if you want to use that term. So that was kind of good to know. And like I said, it was good information. So, and that's been it.
Okay. Well, I also attended the intergovernmental luncheon here, and it was a good, interesting talk. And I don't have the other activities that I didn't do, and just answered a lot of phone calls and emails, and trying to catch up with the stuff at home. So that's about it. So I guess we can move to business.
First item, gentlemen's agreement to purchase real estate.
I missed that one.
You missed that one,
What are we buying?
huh? We're not buying anything.
Lot 91A located 11,320 Lakeview Drive.
Oh, okay.
We're selling this.
We're
one.
selling.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's what that.
This was the unsold lot of tax auction that we're selling
Yeah.
to the next door neighbor.
Oh,
I make a
okay.
motion to
Yeah.
approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
For some reason, when I was going through this, I missed that one. That's my bad.
Well, the title's a little misperceiving, but.
Sure.
Oh, Greg.
$27.
Already,
Mhm.
month is gone.
Year's gone.
Good. Let the rest of it go.
That
I'm ready for
yet.
2021.
We've had such a good time.
Yeah, so far.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
How's Greg doing?
Good.
Next item, gentlemen, Larry Johnson, upgrade for website contract.
I make a motion to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I was gonna ask you about that on there. It's got dollar amounts on there, and they don't add up to the three people, I guess, that are supposed to be there. One is for $570, the other's for $575. Two different lines.
On this contract?
Yeah. 190 apiece, 3 people, and it says 570, but down above it, it says annual charge of 575, and now it's 570 on the next paragraph.
Yeah, no, this comes from the appraiser's office, so.
And it doesn't look like it, I mean, I don't have any problem with the contract, but I thought maybe those numbers should be on there.
Where do you see the discrepancy at?
Okay, I see that on the first.
I see the check mark with the 570.
Right, but above it, it says the annual charge is 575.
That's for a site license though. That's different.
That's different.
Mhm.
Individual.
That's why it's not checked.
Okay, the individual license, okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's for the 135,
Okay.
190, the 570, the one that has the check mark by it. Yep, sure.
That tells you at least I looked at it.
Yeah, you did look at it. That's good.
About time, huh?
We won't ask John on this one.
Details, details.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Next one, we have Fairmont Heights Sanitary Sewer Benefit District contract.
We approved it, now we gotta sign it, huh?
Once you approve it, you do.
Oh, I think we did, didn't we?
No, Fairmont.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Fairmont?
We went through everything there.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve.
Second, all in favor?
I get to sign it.
It's a big document, but not too many places to sign, so
Oh,
it's not as,
Is it both of us?
nope.
There's 2 places?
Just 2 places, that's what I say, it's more intimidating than it looks, not as intimidating as it looks. Yep, just right where the tabs are.
Wow. One. Two. At least they give you plenty of space and you can see it.
Yeah.
Three. Four.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Good morning. How are you?
No, I didn't see you slide in. Quiet, quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, next up, I have Riley County Personnel Action Forms, Andrew Adams, Emergency Response Coordinator, Separation of Service, and Brittany Edelman, new hire, Fall Parks, Seasonal, Public Works. Thank you.
Mhm.
Next, gentlemen, I have Raleigh County Personnel Action Form Emergency Response Coordinator in the Health Department of grade L. Gentlemen, I need a motion to approve accounts payable and payroll.
Make a motion, we approve accounts payable and payroll.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
And then have those re-signed, gentlemen, when they're ready.
Okay,
Ready for the minutes of the board is.
okay. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes as written.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Tentative agendas look, gentlemen.
Pretty tentative.
Yep, retentative.
Any items for next week's press conference, gentlemen?
I don't have anything.
Okay, next up, 9 o'clock, you have Mr. Wilkerson.
Okay. Good show. Holly got a hold of me. Give me your stuff. I'm not risking. So, I'm not gonna knock on the door. I'm not gonna answer questions for you. I don't want you to go there and answer for me.
We were over there last.
I was talking to a buddy this morning who was hunkered down in western Louisiana.
Oh, no.
He's up a little bit north towards Shreveport, so it's not so bad, but
Yeah, that's going to something.
Oh, that's up downhill.
Yeah.
I actually had someone else at all. Peggy, Peggy Brian.
Okay. Is it up? Oh, yeah.
I saw one prediction, the national guy, he thinks, up there farther north, they're only expecting 30-mile-an-hour winds. But he says there's a jet stream coming down from the north that he thinks is going to push it down and actually make the wind stronger than
Yeah,
30,
yeah.
not that's going to be horrible.
that's that same jet stream that's going to bring us a relief in temperature through the weekend. I don't- It kind of was tracking our way, then it kind of shifted back to the east. So I don't think we're going to get any precipitation from it, but
Sounds like a pretty good chance Sunday, they're saying.
is there? Okay, well, that changed then. I'll take it.
We're due. We need it, yeah.
Take it.
You can decide how much you
Okay.
what you say. That's all I have on chat. Of course, you
You can't take a short trail.
No. Anyway, I just thought.
You've been watching the
Okay.
Republican convention?
Nope.
Just the highlights of seeing.
I don't, if you already know who the nominee is, either party, I don't understand why you would need to have it. It's just a big dog and pony show.
In certain states.
I mean, I understand if you got a broker convention or you got multiple candidates, you need to narrow it down, but especially this year, it's just not that,
What do you complain about?
oh, the conventions.
What
I
you-
haven't watched them in years. I know where I'm at already. I
Well, I
don't,
know, I understand, I understand.
I just-
But there's a lot of people who don't know.
well, and yeah, that's
They
probably
have
true too.
problems.
This year of all years, I just don't need to see another virtual thing on the screen. I just don't.
It's not over.
No, I know.
Not till the fat lady sings.
The debates, I may watch one or two of those. I usually do, but it's usually
Those
not
could
it.
be interesting with these two.
This year in particular.
You won't so much watch it for content as entertainment value.
It's kind of sad, but yeah. Or if we get our way, maybe this asteroid comes and we don't have to worry about it.
Your asteroids you keep looking out for.
The
Like I
storm-
said, every day I'm getting a little closer and closer to rooting for it.
Did you hear, some news report I just heard this morning, a guy was talking about, it was on a camera interview on how bad 2020's been. And during the interview, like 100 feet behind him, a lightning bolt struck. And they said, no, that's quite an exclamation point on that.
Yep. I think that's the moment I'd be done with on-air interviews, particularly outside.
Rich, I heard today on K-Man that they said that happened during a wedding.
A wedding,
gosh.
oh, really?
The groom was saying his vows and he made a statement or something like that, and then lightning struck.
Yeah.
That's according to Dave Lewis. I can usually trust Dave.
What a great way to start off matrimony.
No kidding.
Yeah, the Republican Black Caucus called off the annual trap shoot. Doggone it. I was wanting to go to that.
I was reading something about how they've only had 25 cases from Sturgis so far.
Really?
I think that's been long enough now to where that really,
I think it just ended last week.
I was thinking it's been closer to 10 days since the,
Maybe it has, but I was just thinking it ended last weekend, so, but it could have.
Yeah, motorcycle exhaust
well, I'm
takes care of
thinking-
it.
That's, could be.
And all
Tequila
the,
shots took care of it.
yep, all the,
Agave is a very strange thing. That's for sure.
and all the alcohol that they put all over everybody that did its trick.
I did see videos. They did a pretty good job of having places to grab masks and hand sanitizer stations, and they tried to do their due diligence at least.
Picture I saw, it didn't show anyone using any of that.
No. But I'm just talking about, Sturgis in general, try to
Yeah.
prepare the best they possibly could
Yeah.
for it.
Lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
No. That's the biggest entity here is human nature and behavior, and it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yep.
Guess I didn't mention on Monday, but when I went to Walmart Sunday morning to pick up some things, some older gentleman was having an argument about masks with staff there. I just kept on going.
No, really.
Yeah.
It's
There's
best.
those people that we've had over there too, one little guy, he had to put his mask on and he was going over to do business in the treasurer's office, so he went out of his way to step into our office and, that we're all behind the counter not wearing masks and saying, you all better wear masks.
Well, I found out too
Everyone
that
just looked at him and then he walked out.
apparently that incident over at KU at the fraternity, the gentleman in question there in the vehicle was driving around to all the fraternities and Greeks and yelling at them about partying and not wearing masks and all that other
Oh,
stuff.
that guy was?
Yeah, so I'm not saying their
Two
actions
sides
were
to every
right.
story.
Yeah, not saying that their actions were right for what they did
If you're
either, or
gonna
what they were
instigate-
doing,
If
but
you're gonna instigate it
Yeah.
though, yeah. Yeah. No,
I don't think anybody was right in that particular scenario, just in general, but
That's for sure.
on the house mom's activities there, she should be done.
That's,
Done.
oh, boy, would you love to be her family, that's a proud
Done.
moment.
She's got kids going to KU or someplace else. They've got to be like double, triple, quadruple face palming.
Yeah, that was my first thought, that, oh, boy, your family's proud. College individual, you might expect it from, but she was a couple times beyond that age.
Yes, she was.
Got Barry here asking a question before he gets out.
Hey, Barry.
Oh, I gotta, guess I'll see if I've got that. I know lots of it's last year.
You know what I've noticed, John,
What's that?
is that Greg keeps coming to visit us, and he drives right by where they serve fresh cinnamon rolls every day, and he hasn't brought us any yet.
That would be a plus. I gotta check out that place over on the west side, the, was it Guilty Biscuit or
Yeah,
whatever?
I've tried it last week.
Is it good?
Their soft opening, it was good, it
Okay.
was good.
I tried that in the new barbecue place over in St. George. I'm hearing good things about it too.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that as well.
That would be something to do maybe on Saturday or something, take a little short trip.
Yeah, they had like a soft opening
Yeah.
last week, and, some people got sent out like 30% discount things, kind of their training thing, and someone forwarded it to me, so my wife and I participated in that last Friday, and it was good.
Mhm.
It was good.
That's kind of the same group that kind of owns Harry's and
It
Bourbon
is.
and Baker down here, so that was their secondary
I had
idea.
heard it was gonna be a breakfast place, so that surprised me. It's, they don't open till 11, so it's obviously not a breakfast place, but their sandwiches were big.
They were,
Okay. And the thing is, they come à la carte, so if you want fries, you gotta order that separate.
Sure.
To do that, it's,
that's kind of the natural progression of the restaurant model these days is not ordering the big thing, but just picking and choosing the things that you want and
Oh, I've got
blending
that.
it together.
got the hamburger that had shredded pork belly on it.
Oh, wow.
It was really good on a biscuit, and it was very similar to Bourbon and Baker's chicken and biscuit. It was a chicken sandwich with that same style of chicken, big piece of
Yeah,
chicken
yeah.
with, on biscuit with pickles, and it was really,
Good.
really good.
I'm gonna-
location has been poisoned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I couldn't believe they picked that location down in there.
there's very few things that have done well there, but that kind of whole little strip right there is kind of almost empty, so.
If anything's good enough, and you have good service,
And you get a good, start
okay,
building a good reputation with it, and of course, they have a good reputation with just everything they've already done, so.
Well, and there's, on the west side, they're so starved for stuff like that.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
west side, which is just amazing, just doesn't have a lot.
No, there really isn't. It's funny, when Four Olives originally opened, they opened that, it's right there on the corner, on the end down there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the very bottom.
Yeah,
corner.
okay. And when Four Olives opened up there, they lasted for quite a long time, but then they ended up moving down here, downtown, so.
Right. Now, Barry,
Good, how's Rich?
good. Good.
So by the time you get up to the podium and adjust the mic, clear your throat, it's time.
All right,
In no particular order.
okay, can I take my mask off the thought, 'cause you won't be able to hear me otherwise?
That's okay.
Fine.
All right. We will be, as in September 8th, we have a new attorney starting, so we will be up full staff again. And we've been down for about close to 2 months now, July and August, but obviously we've been a little bit slower than usual because we haven't been able to try cases. And in summertime, it's not a heavy trial schedule anyway, historically. So, yeah, everybody else has been able to help keep up, but we'll look forward to being at full staff again here in a couple of weeks. The Odyssey conversion, Commission may remember a couple of years ago, we came forward with IT, Kevin, Corey, everyone's been great to work with. But with this COVID, they can't travel to do some of the in-person training. We looked at trying to maybe do some of it online, but we've all come to the consensus that it's just not as good as having in-person training. When the people from Tyler can't travel, we will then finish that project, that conversion over, but it is on hold right now. Kevin Hauser's been working with us and Corey Meyer, but we will eventually, when some of the travel restrictions are lifted, we will get that completed. But I know that was, well, our thinking was, it's a lot of money, the capital outlay for the county, and we don't want to skimp on the training and, try to piecemeal it here and there. And so if we're going to do this, we want to do it right. If we're going to spend the amount of money that we did, I know it was considerable. I don't remember off the top of my head now, but it was up there. So, last thing I know of, I think is positive, is we are going to, I think in September, we won't do any jury trials in September, but hopefully we will start to schedule them. Things are going to start to break loose here a little bit, which will be good news for us. We've got really a lot of cases that are kind of bottlenecked because we can charge, we can do preliminary hearings, a lot of other things, but on major cases, we can't do the last part of it, which is the jury trial. So we haven't done any since, I think February was the last one that we did, 1st of March. So, once we can do that, that's going to, start to move finish moving these cases through, and that'll be good for us. But, again, I want to thank the commission. There's a lot of departments, all the different needs, and this certainly has been trying times for everybody. And I really want to, take my hat off to the commission for, each of the different department heads, all our needs. I know it's been a lot of shuffling. Nobody expected to be here, but really appreciate all your efforts in making it work for all of us. So again, I thank you for that. It's different times, that's for certain.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all your hard work in this trying time. You guys are set up with a deal much different than the other directors of how they can do their work. You got some laws that don't let you do that.
You're almost kind of just in kind of stuck mode at this particular point in time. That'll be a lot more stressful when you actually have to start trying to work through all those cases, and we're going to be kind of months behind on that just from that alone.
It will, I think that we'll be able to get caught up. It's not gonna, of course, happen overnight, but we'll be able to eventually, when we start moving these things through, then it'll start to, and, hopefully get some people out of the police department too, or out of the jail, so.
Yeah.
But we're starting to open things up again, so.
Good.
It's been good.
Good. Glad to see that you're back at full staff when that comes too. That'll be somewhat of a benefit at least.
It will be, it certainly will be at the right time, so.
Yes.
I don't have anything else, but thank you.
All righty.
Helping us get through this for the last 6 months.
You bet.
Keep working at it.
Okay, thank you, Barry.
Thanks, Barry.
Thanks, Barry. Have a good day.
Good.
Gentlemen, here's the council battle on payroll, which you already made a motion on.
Most important part of our meeting today.
Now we can adjourn.
Right.
Make sure you can read my name on there.
Better than I can read my own.
It's very important that you write it so that it's legible. If we don't get this signed, nobody will be happy.
Nope.
Right. Anarchy.
Amongst everybody else who's already not happy. Anybody got big weekend plans?
No, not really. I'll work all day Saturday. Shoot my bow some, get ready for my big antelope hunt.
I'll continue to work my honey-do list down so she can add more to it.
I'm working in the garden. Always got open okra to pick
Mhm.
process, so.
What do you call it when a honeydew list is just you and you're single?
There is no honey-do list.
It's a to-do list.
Just a to-do list?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to think of something catchy to put on that,
A
but
to-do list.
I don't have a to-do list, by the way. I just,
It's not required.
Yeah, on most, on Saturday, so
Yeah,
take my youngest daughter out for dinner Friday or Saturday. She'll be home. They had their pinning ceremony, which is the ceremony when you in nursing college.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
College,
yeah,
so
gotcha, yeah.
that's
They
good.
They didn't have a ceremony this year,
Mhm.
unfortunately, like when my older daughter went through, but they did it yesterday in class and she sent pictures. And so
Oh, that's cool.
we'll take
Congratulations.
her out for that.
Yep.
So,
That'll be good.
Yeah, that's quite
It's a
an
milestone in life.
yeah.
That's good. No, I just got a lot of stuff I gotta get done here and there. Been working on the motorhome to readjust some stuff, like speakers. You got the speakers on the dash, but it's a big dash, okay? And you sit, speakers are this far away from me when I'm driving. And road noise, got to turn up the radio, so I installed 2 speakers.
Do you have like a disco ball in the middle?
Yeah.
I want pictures of that for sure.
So I had to find a way to get the wires in there without making them obvious and dangling all over the place. So it took me a little while to get that done, so.
Yeah.
Make something attractive, because anytime you buy a set of speakers, it's hard for you to put them in a spot that's not made for them.
Right, exactly.
So I had to remake the box for them, each one of them, and get them there and make sure the wires went right.
You probably haven't had a chance to even get that motorhome out this year, probably, huh?
Not like I wanted to.
Mhm.
I may have a chance here in a little bit.
I'm still trying to figure out what to do over next weekend, for the 4-day weekend for me. So,
I do have a combination, coffee stand wine rack that I'm making for my twin daughter, one of my twin daughters, Michaela, that's in PT school. She has a small apartment and needed something to put her coffee pot on, so I've gotten some walnut from Ron for the top, and so got it all made. Wife's got the base painted, I got the top stained, and I'll be putting that together.
nice.
Made the wine rack portion on the bottom, so it'll be nice for her in her little apartment. So I will have that project finished up.
Those are nice.
Mhm,
It was quite a little project with that wine rack. That's some tricky stuff to work with.
mhm. Well, I'm glad to announce that I will be getting my new furniture in Wednesday.
Is that right?
The
You
couch,
mean-
new love seat, new coffee table.
You'd be easier to get along with.
Maybe. Maybe. Don't count on it. I've only waited since Memorial Day, so it's all good. Well, we could try to get it out to you sooner. And I'm like, just whenever you can. I've already waited this long, a few extra days. Is it going to be a big deal?
They're gonna put it into your apartment.
Take the old stuff out.
Be good.
I had the old stuff for about 15 years, so it was just kind of time for an update. I didn't go extravagant or anything, but
Yeah, we're due for some new recliners and
yeah.
furniture in our house as well, because it's
Yeah.
it's been probably 20 years.
Yeah,
It
I
still
thought
looks
about
good, but
I got some old Ashley furniture that was microfiber, really good, really comfortable, but not real stain resistant, not real so it's just kind of starting to look a little old and faded. How about trying to maybe renovate it a little bit, rent a cleaner or something, clean it up, and I just thought, time you do all that, you're gonna be doing that several times a year or something. So I just thought, maybe it's time to get something new. And it comes right before football season. It'll enhance my viewing pleasure.
exactly.
Coffee table's got a hinge deal on it where it pops up.
Oh, yeah.
So you
Seen
could,
those.
yeah. So you could probably lay there and twist the laptop around and a tablet around and, watch 3, 4, well, with the dual screen, watch 4 different games. If there'll be 4 different games this year, there just may not, but I'll have the capabilities, let's just say. Have the capabilities of going to the sports bar and watching them all at once, but and the safety and security at home. That's what I tell everybody in the fall. I can literally disappear off the planet from Friday night until Monday morning. Very easy, very content.
Well, Clancy, I think you about got it now. Should be any time now. There you go.
Yep.
You're on.
Morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
Clancy Holman, Raleigh County Councilor. One specific thing, got this afternoon, just a Zoom meeting, as everybody else spending an awful lot of time in Zoom meetings. This one will be with KC General Counsel, Greg McHenry, working on the 2 items on the legislative platform that Greg has presented, working with Jake Hall, Legislative Counsel for KAC, to General Counsel for KAC. Working those 2 items through the process so membership can take a look at them later on, and so that the Legislative Policy Committee of KAC can review them again in September. Also, basically just continuing to work on projects as assigned by the board and on projects requested by various department heads. Plenty of documents to review, plenty of assistance to provide when we're doing that best we can. That's all I've got, unless you have questions on anything in particular.
Don't you have any?
Gonna probably naturally assume that there won't be a state convention for KAC this year, so
They're actually gonna do a virtual one.
yeah.
Definitely not in person.
Right. Any changes of how they're gonna look at just legislative issues?
Not that I'm aware of. Jay hasn't put anything like that out. Of course, the committee, legislative committee may have something different they're gonna do, but I'm not aware of it.
Okay.
I suspect it will be much the same as previously, just in Zoom format.
It changes the format quite a bit, though.
Sure, no, absolutely, but,
Okay.
so I think it's probably manageable. We'll see.
Okay.
I may be wrong, but given the type of legislative session this could be this year with limited contact with the legislators, it somewhat scares me. What they can do.
Well, we don't know who all those legislators are gonna be yet with the entire legislature up for election this year too, so it's gonna look and feel a lot different.
Yeah, I would second that concern.
Mhm. I don't know if, I guess anything's possible, but there's gonna be quite a bit of a change in Senate leadership. House, maybe not so much, but we'll have a new majority leader all the way down, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Next, gentleman, we have Kevin Hauser at 9:35.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no way. It always is the first year. It just takes forever to change the color. And you can eat a green, you know, but yeah, it takes forever to change color. Actually, ordered me a new bow this year. Actually, when I was gonna go, I wanted to get another weight like I can have, but with my aging body and shoulders, I ain't learned to take care of myself there. So my main priority was something that's smoother to draw, you know, without having to go too far down in poundage. So I shot 3 bows. I recommend it. Like that, they're just so good out there. But I ended up going with BOCC. BOCC with tax. So I wanted to go with long bow too, 30-inch. So you know, it should be here in a week or two. So. Yeah, my son and I both went. They're just, I just have to this guy here. I would prefer to be local, but those guys up there, they're just so friendly and so knowledgeable. They just live free. So one guy's been there forever. Yeah, got that kind of fun. Decided to try that out.
What's the distance? What's the distance you shoot? Effectively, you do that much.
I can do up to 70. Good. That's what I practice for the antelope, which we'll be doing in September. The 70 is a long shot. Compound bow. I can do 70 effectively.
Are you going to the same area you went last time?
Same guy we always go to. My wife doesn't know it yet, but I'm semi-thinking about trying to sneak away for a week and go try to yield deer in Nebraska. They're trying to narrow down the area, so I might try to sneak away a day over on weekend next weekend. And if my son can go and try and find some private property on the mule deer, not always want to yield deer.
That's true.
I got places in Western Kansas I can, but if I shoot a mule deer buck, I can't put whitetail out, so I hate on Kansas. If you get one antler deer. Next year, I think we're back after elk next year.
Those composite pillars.
Hard composite, aluminum risers. You know, composites. Laminated, and a lot of times the lips are. I don't know if everyone still likes that anymore. Yeah. Opened my whole bow tonight. I can get my shoulders straightened back up.
You're shooting at effective range up to 70. You just got 75 and it's 40.
Well, it's just, I mean, no official part of it, it's just, you know, it's being consistent and accurate with that, or, you know, they'll shoot a lot farther.
Oh, excellent.
And that's the only thing I shoot at, but that first antelope, bigger animals, deer, elk, like, 40. Ethical about it, it's not ridiculous. Right, because you're out in the prairie with grass to sneak up on them, yeah, you're lucky if you get that close.
Come for you.
Yeah, Dave was using my skill.
Yeah,
I remember those little, I used to love those little shows. Daniel Boone show, when I was a kid, I just loved that.
Yeah. Crossbow. Type deal. Power on. Bush up there, there's everywhere. Around. Remember way back now, so we were in California, fixing to follow that. Second grade. During this organization, called Boys and Girls, limbs like that. Doesn't, doesn't longer.
Right. Right then.
So remember that. Just for the sake
Be sitting in the house.
of their silence.
They are.
We'll see. I'm gonna probably try to take roll this black powder, paper, put it around on it. Do it right. Put it in the trash can and then shut it down. The paper would be water.
That's the old fashioned black powder.
See, the only thing about it, you really have the old fashioned black powder. Fire it off, there's so much smoke, no one can see it.
Well, and the thing is, you also can't see whether you actually killed it or not until the smoke clears, you know?
I know.
A friend of mine, when I was growing up, he had, they're neat. Come Keats way to avoid the,
And that landscaping place down Keach, just where you turn the corner. I don't know if you've been that way. Some guy bought that house and has big landscaping. All the trucks pulled out right in front of it.
oh, I didn't know that. I've been that way for a while.
You know, it started, kind of building, I think they just started moving their stuff in. But they pulled out all the big trucks going 45 all the way in, so I was.
I got lucky, yeah, because I thought, I've gotten stopped every time at the road construction. I thought, I'm about due to just pull up there and continue to keep on driving, hit it right timing wise. And I actually hit it right timing wise today.
Where was that at?
The
Floor.
asphalt
Oh,
for the
yeah.
construction they're doing.
Is that supposed to be done this week? Or?
It ought to be the way they're moving. They are moving
I
fast.
just haven't-
Once they get going, boy, it's quick.
I haven't even gone that way this week.
Yeah, they're all the way on one lane, all the way to the shops.
Not from a geographical standpoint, that's the most difficult part right there too. Going
And
over
widest.
Yeah.
Just real wide right there.
that
Well, they've got one
passing
lane.
lane.
Now that I think about it, they've got one lane all the way past the shops even, down the hill. Well, yeah, they're moving. I'll give you credit there.
Now, are they just overlaying or are they?
Just overlaying.
I didn't know if it was going to grind it up and.
No, it's just an overlay.
It's been a while. It's been over a decade, I think, isn't it?
I do not remember. It's been a while though.
Well, they did it, I was going to say like 2008 or 2009. They did it. They started it right as Country Stampede was happening. That's what I remember. I remember that being a challenge. I would say it was 08 or 09.
Hey, I got Michelle working out there. We didn't think to get her.
Did you? Good.
Yeah, no reason for her to be writing with a pen when she can be typing.
That's great. That's great. Appreciate it.
Now, Leon won't be able to use his computer, but he ain't coming down today, probably, so.
He's leaving anyway.
I'm
Don't
not sure he
worry.
knows how to use it anyway. I just think he opens it up.
We'll get her back to work.
Yeah, it's probably not the best morning for a staff update, huh?
Well, it was busy for a while there, but
No, they did a great job.
it's
There
IT.
was no delay on my part. I came over and the cable was already set up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in mine, I'm like, they're so correct to my computer. So we're
Yeah.
good.
It's, it's a realization there that, everything's IT based now, it seems like, so gotta be prepared.
So I keep saying we need to have better broadband, better wireless too. So I'm sure you're on board with me on that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Hopefully hear more about that initiative at some point.
Mhm. I've had a couple of other people reach out to me too, some not locally, so I don't think that's gonna probably work, but.
Morning. You got your camera right?
Yeah, it works.
Okay, great.
I was with had a Zoom meeting with the chamber the other day and hooked it up, and
Okay.
I still can't figure out how to get it clipped right, but other than that, it's great.
Okay.
It's nice.
Good to hear.
It's time, sir.
All righty. Good morning,
Good
Commissioners.
Good
morning.
morning.
So here below is my August update for ITGIS. Not on the list, obviously, it was a little too early with a few little problems we had this morning. Just a brief update. Our Cisco network system is very complex. We got a lot of devices out there. We do try to keep hot swap spares, we like to call them, for certain key components, but there's some things that we don't have spares for various reasons. And what happened to our wireless was the little wireless controller device actually, they're so darn reliable, they'll run for years, but they're still just a machine. And this one blew a capacitor inside in the middle of the night. So bottom line is I'm working to get one shipped ASAP. Might be tomorrow morning, but we'll have our wireless back up again. And as you can obviously note from the commission machines, anywhere we have to get a machine deployed and up and working, we can do a wired solution temporarily. So anyway, that's what the excitement was this morning.
A very quick wired
Yes,
solution.
you did a good
Yeah,
job.
it was-
Yeah, they hopped right over here and got right on it. So good to see. A few updates from the IT side. We did set up, per Julie's report this morning, and with the contact tracer effort out of Denison, we did set up some devices out there, additional devices for the contact tracers to use. So we're helping with that effort. A couple of things here. We did upgrade our call manager system last night, as I've talked about for the last few meetings. That went well. Had absolutely nothing to do with our other issue later on, but the call manager hardware upgrade went well. The phone system's all back up. As to my knowledge, everything's up and running. We were done well before 8 on that, I believe. So everything just as we expected. Doing a few conference room upgrades. We've finished emergency management and the FCRC conference room, making them more Zoom capable for obvious reasons. So taking advantage of some of the dollars out there, et cetera, to make our ability to host these Zoom meetings a little more widespread than it had been in the past. I'll just mention to the commission, we've ordered the new Cisco firewall equipment that the commission approved me procuring last meeting. That is on the way. We'll probably be looking at, now being as this is our firewall, that means that's our connection to the outside world in the bottom line. So all internet access and external phone calls would halt, that sort of thing. So basically, we're planning for an installation this fall before the election, well before the election, so everything's up and going before that critical time. But it will be an evening installation or weekend type of event again, so limited impact to the county. It'll be EMS that we'll work with, obviously, and they have alternative methods. So more to come on that. We did obtain the equipment to complete the lab building out of Public Works. So we'll be working, and the main impact of replacing the equipment to get the lab online. And when I say that, it means the IT piece, get the phone capable of having phones and computers running in that lab building. The main impact of that will be a replacement of a switch in the fuel station. And that, of course, is part of the fiber connectivity to Adibus. So again, we'll work closely with Adibus to avoid downtimes. We'll probably be doing this on a Saturday or Sunday after their hours. We've already communicated with them, so a little bit of work that's happening down there. On the COVID-related front, we continue to work with the district court. We're buying some equipment that, and I say we, I'm sorry, I'm helping to purchase some equipment that we funded by the courts for COVID remote work related things that the district court's been required to do, is my understanding. So as with all of our customers, we'll continue to work with them closely to make sure they get equipment that meets our standards and can go on our network, et cetera. So that's a main update for the IT side. On GIS, huge item for us, obviously, is our 2020 Sanborn Aero we've been talking about for a long time. There were some delays on this, a lot of it COVID related again, but we have all of our imagery. It's in. We're hopeful that this imagery will be available on our GIS website probably early September timeframe, which is next week, I believe. So coming up here real quick, that'll be nice. When you look at the GIS imagery now, there's a 2018 base map. Obviously, that's the latest there'll be a 2020 base map. So it'll show our imagery from a few months ago. We did successfully, on the Sanborn side, we successfully conducted a oblique analyst training. That's a tool that the appraisers and many others use to get the side views of the building so you can see not just the straight down, but also the side views, do measurements, that sort of thing. So we did some training on that. Sanborn did some online training for us. And I'm going to get with department heads. We can schedule another training class if necessary. Plus, there's a video available out there for anybody that needs to see that for that very specialized oblique analyst tool that they use. Otherwise, on the GIS side, we continue to work closely. It's a daily update on the dashboards for COVID-related items, working closely with the health department, emergency coordinator there, et cetera, Julie, et cetera. So if you haven't looked at that, take a look sometime. Provides a ton of information about our county and what's going on from a COVID perspective. We're also working with, we being IT and the health department, with the Esri, our partner there, on a contact tracing tool. So we got a bunch of contact tracers at a high level. We got contact tracers out there. They're doing some things into spreadsheets, this and that, but they could, with this Esri tool, they could be make their job much more effective and easier, and et cetera. So anyway, that's in progress. Don't know if that'll happen or not, but we are working with them on the possibility of that. We did work with, or we will be doing a GIS virtual server upgrade. That will impact all of our GIS clients, everybody that uses GIS, but the downtime will be minimal. We'll work with department heads on that. It'll be sometime this fall. So again, like all of our upgrades, we attempt to do those nights, weekends, et cetera. So there's minimal impact to both the public and to our staff. That really, unless you have any questions, kind of a quick update of what's been going on the last month or so in IT GIS.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, we stay pretty busy. So.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for your
Hey,
time.
thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin. Next on, we have David Adams, 950.
Okay.
Has there been any discussion of timeline wise and when we're going to start doing planning director interviews?
Public Works.
Thank you. We've got 3 of them on the table here, and I keep getting mixed up.
Yeah, no, that's something we need to be discussing.
Okay.
We haven't had that many applicants, so.
Well, I got another one today. I think.
Yeah, I
we've
saw
got about
that.
3 or 4. I mean,
Yeah, I know, but man, just not very many
No.
number-wise. So yeah, no, we'll be discussing that
Okay.
today and tomorrow.
Yeah, speaking of planning, she should be starting pretty quickly here too, shouldn't she?
1st of September.
That's what I thought. Okay. Good. Good.
Hi, Lynn. How are you, sir? How are you?
decision come, end of tomorrow for Pat, so.
You know, I'm hopeful nobody else retires on us this year.
Yeah, department head wise, I don't know if there will be, but I think there'll be some office manager type that have been long-term county employees that haven't left department heads now yet.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at the longevity, the group of, just the longevity. It's a good thing. So it's not a good thing.
Yeah, you're right, both. Both.
Yeah.
I'm glad for them, they've worked for it.
Oh,
Their
yeah,
whole
absolutely.
life, but
Absolutely.
yeah, that skill set, institutional knowledge takes years to replace.
Mhm.
David, you just gonna be online?
Yeah, if that's okay.
No, that's fine. No, you need to hurry up and get here. Just wanted to be sure you were out there.
Yes, sir.
If you can get here in 3 minutes, I'll be impressed, David.
I don't think I can.
I don't think you can either.
You got lights and sirens.
Yeah, but that whole due regard and safety, and then there's the, the law of whether it's an emergency or not.
That's the response I was hoping.
Hoping for.
Yeah.
What do you got? I think it's on.
On the,
On your screen, okay. That's all we need. Okay. It'll be up on there. Anything that shows up on our stuff will be in there.
Okay.
Very good, thank you.
Yep.
Lots.
Yes.
Morning, Lynn.
Hello. Mister, you have to emphasize that, mister.
Well, right now, he doesn't want to emphasize the Mr. Fine.
Well, I do,
Oh, okay.
you know.
Well, you can. Mary, you have to set up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Morning, Leon.
Morning, Rich. What do you know?
Not enough for us to be incredibly wealthy retired, but now.
Well, that's good.
You're about that point.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Hang in there.
Independent with the wealth department.
Morning, Lynn, how you doing? Good morning, how you doing? Yeah, you can't see anyone talk anymore.
Yeah,
Crazy world.
yes it is.
Well, at least the hurricane didn't provide storm
It's-
surge. if it-
David, are you there?
Not
Yes,
yet.
sir, I am.
Not yet.
Oh, you are there?
Yes, sir.
You're supposed to knock it back down to where that front quadrant may stay in one place and drag it
Okay.
in, so.
Really?
yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
Okay, good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
David Adams, EMS Ambulance Director, and what I have in front of you is a commissioned, a car. It is for the purchase of ultraviolet lights to go into the rear, to be installed into the patient compartment of all of our ambulances. We have, the Spark Committee did approve this through the Spark funds. Obviously, that has not been approved through the state yet, but I feel that this is a very important purchase for our department to help us in cleaning our ambulances. Currently, we spray them and then we wipe them down. We'll continue to do that on some of our COVID patients after we transport them, but this ultraviolet lights, as you see in front of you, it kills 99.999% of all of the viruses, and some bacteria and other things. But this will also help us during the flu season. So as you know, we remount all of our ambulances. So this will go, we'll have this long term. This won't be once we get a new ambulance, we lose this. It can be installed by the installer from our ambulance company. They'll do it at our station. So what I have in front of you is just I'm asking for permission to go ahead and purchase these. We'll use Spark funds. We think that it fits all the criteria, but if it doesn't but get approved by the state, then I'm prepared to take it out of my budget, as we've canceled some trainings and travel and other things.
I think it's a great idea. I absolutely have no.
You would be mounting this in the middle of the top of the ambulance, going long ways with it?
Yeah, I believe that's where they'll put it. It goes in the back in between two sets of lights. So you pull the cot out, and it takes 2 minutes to essentially, to kill all the virus and all the bacteria in the back of the ambulance.
Okay.
What does the installation process look like? Is it done in-house? Do you have to take ambulance?
They say that they'll do it in-house. They'll come to us.
Okay.
So if I was prepared to have to take them to Salina, because that's where the installer is, but he tells us that he can come to our place and do them.
Good. Even better. Okay. Any other questions?
I don't have any other questions.
I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we approve the purchase and installation of air and surface disinfection lamps in the total amount of $22,753.
Yeah, to come out of his budget. Sorry,
Well,
he's not.
Hopefully coming out of Sparks funds, but
Spark
yeah.
funds, then his budget, yeah.
So it's a budget neutral
Okay,
option.
okay. I second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, David.
Thank you, David.
Commissioners, have a good day.
Greg McHenry at 10 o'clock.
They do work.
No, they
They
do.
do work.
I have a feeling you're going to see more and more of those at bigger box stores and sporting events and stuff at some point in
When I
time
was
too.
KPNL, we had a lot of water districts, like the water plant Manhattan. They installed them in stages over the water, about this high over the water. And saved a lot of chemical.
I could see if we move to spring in particular, if things get, some of those fall sporting events get moved to spring and spring events
Yeah.
start happening. This may be one of those things that'll be part of the process. I really see that happening.
I've got it in my house, in my system, my HVAC system, in the return ducts. The main return duct, it just comes on when the fan starts working,
Mhm.
air conditioner or heating, comes on. Good system.
And I sent you, Leon, an email from somebody from Colorado that sent me something on thermal type stuff for HVAC and stuff. I don't I haven't had really enough time to really examine what that's all about, so
Yeah, me either, but.
I sent it to you and Rob Ott at the
Yeah,
city.
so I did get it, so
Okay.
kind of look through it for the longest days.
Well, you don't have that many days left, so
123.
make that a priority. Not that he's counting or
Yeah,
anything.
not that I'm counting, but 123.
I bet you Monty's got a shorter list than you do.
Yeah, it's only like 27.
Less than that.
24.
Yeah, less than that. Morning, Greg.
5 minutes.
Morning.
He can almost count them on his hands and his feet. That's when you know you're there, when you do that.
What was the thermal about?
Just using kind of heat and thermo, tight spaces. You could use them probably like dorms or
How's it going?
something like that.
It's either gonna be
It's a wave. It's like a thermal type of wave or something.
oh, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, it's something. It's kind of like it kind of flows along with this a little bit too, but instead of light, you're using direct heat.
There's infrared heat.
Yeah, I got the interpretation there that it's not a preventative measure. It's a measure that you could use in hospitals or something to cord off a place that's already been infected or something like that. And
I don't know that the thermal heat can do anything.
it's kind of a new type of technology. It's not. It's not a try to
Send
treat.
it to me, I'd like to see what.
I don't have it anymore. I have to ask Leon for it. I forwarded it on and said, "Hey, send me your thoughts on it."
I thought I knew all the heating systems that they were.
Now, this is something that I think works outside of it. It won't coincides with it. You have a machine or something that works. Doesn't go in the actual HVAC or heating system. I mean, even this here. I mean, they've got mobiles. Like you go into the airport or whatnot, and you go through the security machines. The ultraviolet ones do something the same way, where you walk through it and it hits you with that light, and you have to stand there for 30 seconds or something to.
Yeah, that's fine on that. I'm just looking at it.
Yeah, it didn't look really cheap.
Yeah.
Well, none of that
But
stuff
it just
is.
kind of depends on somebody's actual needs, I guess.
None of that stuff is.
Jeff,
It's just that it's
Jeff, how you doing?
how,
pretty good, how about you?
Not bad.
what happens with it, how you work
You buy that road
it.
construction okay?
Because I used to be involved with all of it.
I seem to have hit it like perfect.
This is something I think has popped up on the radar
Today
in
was
the
the
last
first day I hit it
like 1 or 2 years.
perfect.
You can Google it. You can Google
But
it.
what do you call it?
Thermo.
Yesterday,
I don't
one time
know.
I got stopped, I was the very first guy in the line, so it was kind of nice sitting
Hey.
there talking with the guy for about.
Can you forward that email
Yeah, I've
over to
seen them
Marvin?
guys have been talking to you at the
Okay.
front
I
door.
can't send it to him
Pretty
direct, so
Okay.
yeah, I can't send it to him direct.
nice. Make their day go faster.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Worst job in the world for me. Standing there on hot asphalt, boots.
That's holiday. and weekend.
Jeff, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good, how about you?
Doing okay?
Good,
But warm out there today,
Good.
not too bad.
no?
Yeah, it's supposed to cool off this weekend, I
Yeah.
think, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's a trend that stays for a while,
Yeah.
considering what time of the year it is.
Got any big hunts planned this year?
I actually leave on Sunday and I'm going to Montana for a week to bird hunt. And then I come back and then at the end of the month, my daughter and I are going to Wyoming to Antelope bird hunt.
I guess dove season starts Tuesday, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just too early for me.
Yeah,
You know, I just can't.
I kind of like to wait for the sunflowers to start kind of wilting, and then that's kind of my cue.
Yeah, we go up to Western Kansas, chase antelope, the son and I archery.
Every year?
We were, last year we did,
That
well, I
sounds like
showed
it.
a year before that, we did, because we went elk hunting in Colorado, but yeah, we're one of the regular places we go to in Western Kansas, Wallace County.
That's a tough hunt, unless you got good places to go.
Well, it is a tough time, but there's plenty of antelope.
Yeah.
Antelope are just tough with archery.
Well, it's just like so much private land you can't get to, and like, it just seems like as soon as you see them, you jump over on someplace you can't go.
Greg, by the time you clear your throat and all that kind of stuff, it should be ready.
Yeah, I had
Looks like he's already ready.
combo tag in my tent,
There you go.
fucking deer, and I turned it back in.
Okay.
My-
Where is all our reading?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just a tough.
Um,
you.
I'm here today to talk about,
We're having,
sorry guys, I'm sorry.
you know, you're
I'm
fine.
here to talk about our appraiser one position in our office. Betty Henning is retiring effective September 18th. Been a longtime employee of our office, the deeds office before that. Done an awesome job for us. And unfortunately, she'll be greatly missed.
Mhm.
And if, as you're familiar, her position is the one who kind of serves as our primary customer service person.
Mhm.
She's also the one who does the valuations for all of our mobile homes, and we have about 3,200 of those spread out through mobile home parks mostly. But long story short, I'm here to ask your consideration in refilling the position. I've talked to you before about downsizing the personal property department, and knowing that we have 2 retirements coming up. Kathy will be retiring next year. She's let us know that. Her position is the one that probably has the flexibility of maybe not refilling, because we're trying to restructure the watercraft valuation situation, get counties out of the position of being involved in that. If and when that happens, and Clancy is working with KAC on that, if and when that happens, I believe we would be able to not refill that position.
Okay.
In the meantime, Betty's position is crucial to us. She is the front of the office, the face of the office for most people that come up. And with all the mobile home values that we have to set each year, it would be very, very difficult to try to fulfill both of those roles. So I'm here to ask your consideration in refilling that. If we were to refill it, it's obviously going to be at a much lesser pay rate due to Betty's tenure with the county. She's several steps up the pay scale within her grade. So we would be looking at starting someone in that step 1 to 3 range versus the 14 that she's currently at. I guess that's kind of my summary of the situation. Let me know if you have any questions or comments.
I don't have any. It's gonna be tough to refill her job. I've known her a long, long time.
Yeah,
She's great.
So,
she does an awesome job.
She does.
She's just a pleasant person to work with, who kind of puts people at ease when they come in the office, and she's worked well
yeah,
with our mobile home parks. That's not always an easy task either, but she does an awesome job with those and the field work that's involved with that too.
I want to make a motion. We approve.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you much.
You bet.
Please.
Thanks, Greg. Next, we have Lynn Leckett at 1010 Gentlemen.
Okay.
You don't know anyone that owns property in southwest Nebraska that you're on it? Trying to get it on mule deer there.
Have you ever been up to the state and put a mule dealer up there?
I heard about that. You know, get private land up there.
No, I don't know anybody who owns any, well, I know one guy that owns land up there, but he's south of the state.
Did you get it, Martin?
More like by Kearney.
What's that? I haven't even looked at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't let me do it with attachments, so I sent the
All kinds
attachments
of
stuff.
places in western Kansas.
Okay.
If I blow my hand for a tag there,
Anyway,
I can,
it's
or,
there.
you know, whitetail here, so.
Yeah.
I actually don't have the email anymore, but I can't send it to him direct anyway, so.
I've got all kinds of land in western Kansas.
I saw the biggest mule dealer I've ever seen in Sandville a few years ago.
How are you, Craig? That's my first
Yeah,
step
they're up there
out.
grouse hunting, just walking with a big old draw. There's some cedar, just a few little cedar trees, not very many. I looked over underneath one, there was one laying underneath the cedar tree, sound asleep, his head down. I thought he was dead. And I walked 3 or 4 steps towards it, I was probably 50 yards from it. That thing stood up and looked at me like, what the heck are you doing here? Took off, and I got a good picture of it. Yep.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest area where there's a large national forest,
Yeah.
up there around Valentine.
That area is just huge. I know there's places in there, people just want to walk, because I've heard I'm back in there.
You didn't have to
You
search.
can get back there and spend the whole day not seeing, but
Yeah,
people just don't want to walk that far.
that's one of my two places that I consider for like this one, so.
So this just
It's pretty
checks
easy.
body
You go there,
temperature,
tag them on
basically.
but they're- you'll-
Oh, does it?
That's what I'm looking at, because there's, I don't see any
For,
other thing
their
that,
goals
that you go through the line and it's looking at the temperature of whatever's coming through the line. So it's a thermal deal to check the temperature of whatever you're doing, which would be people, okay? And it's a very accurate
Yeah, that's a good
temperature
state to
deal,
go.
and it's
Montana, East
like people
Montana.
going through an airport, it checks them, if they're running 102 temperature, you don't have to touch them, you just, you're gone, or whatever. That's what that is.
Okay.
Were you addressing that?
This time around,
No, in Nebraska,
in the sand hills.
in the Sand Hills, do you go there to Valentine or
I go to Halsey,
Halsey?
yeah. I mean, I've been up to Valentine's, there's less people at Halsey because, the city of Valentine Hills right there, it seems to kind of get hammered by a lot of people there.
Is Halsey?
Halsey is like,
Halsey?
if you ever heard of Thetford, you go straight north out of Thetford. Thetford's on the western edge of it. You go straight north, it gets Valentine, maybe like 80 miles or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that area, I've never been there.
If there was like work there and a guy could make a living other than owning a 100,000 acre ranch, I'd live there in a heartbeat. It's a really pretty area.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, super gorgeous and, yeah, no humidity.
No humidity?
I don't know about no humidity, very low humidity. I got a caveat everything if you go to.
Pretty much.
We all do, we all do.
It's because of mine.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, okay.
And a guy by the name of Jim Fry.
What that is,
I was just sitting here looking
temperature
at your
sensitivity
socks. It's like
device,
socks.
okay? And all it does is when you go
Jeff,
through the
that's an
line,
adventure every meeting.
Oh, my God. I thought I had crazy socks on. Mine had like mountains on.
Well, yeah.
temperature of whatever goes through it.
I like them.
And when it looks at people, it makes the image. I mean, you can buy these guns that can do that for $200.
Yeah, they're not really accurate. I don't think.
Accurate enough for thermal on a building.
Between these and the ones. where
This,
there's
this
an
is
animal
not looking,
circle.
it's not gonna blind your eyes, it's not gonna do anything. But it senses the temperature of the individual.
I asked for fun socks for Christmas and I got like 15 pairs.
That just means you don't have to stand there with a thing and swipe somebody.
Yep, that area. Valentine, there's permanent antelope too, aren't there?
I really haven't seen a whole lot of antelope in that area.
Really?
I've seen some, but not like a lot. I mean, west of there, there's a whole bunch. Yeah. I think the terrain is, even though it's like wide open prairie, it's so rolling, there's a lot of little ravines and they can't see it real far unless you're right on top of the hill. I think that might bother them in that area.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And there's some trees. Yeah, there's that national forest right there.
Yeah. I don't know, I might have to check that area out.
Yeah, I would check it out. It's really neat area.
Okay. Then,
So maybe a better place to start on the screen would be the layout of the subdivision.
okay, she's gonna come get it for you.
There we go, thank you. Yeah, good, so it could all fit on there at once, perhaps. That looks good. Okay, so on the right-hand side of the screen, lower right-hand side is my residence where I've lived for 25 years. The upper part of that right-hand side is the north end of what I've owned for 25 years. The left side of the screen is a property that I acquired in March of this year and been in discussions with some of these people with various county positions over the last 6 months. I think
Let him use it.
my
This battery's still good on.
Got the battery working on it?
No, maybe not.
That's not red line.
No, I tried.
There it is.
Okay.
Oh, you gotta push it. I
Yeah,
see.
okay, yeah, okay.
So yeah, this, on this side of the screen, that's the upper part of the property I've owned for 25 years. I live right down in here, have 25 years. And this would be phase 2 of the subdivision. And this would be phase 1 of the subdivision, accessed off of Thomas Ward Road here. And so I tried to do my homework and legwork back in February before I bought the property, and I was made aware of this document, procedure for plat approval, that is generated, I believe, in the planning department. And in that document, there is no mention of paving roads in a subdivision, no matter what size in Riley County. My initial discussion with Leon in February before I purchased the property was that they would be gravel roads. And after I acquired the property, I was made aware of this second document, Riley County Standards for Roadway Design and Platted Subdivisions. The two documents do not line up, but I'm told that the Riley County standards take precedence over the other one, so it is what it is. But my contention, I guess, is that if we go back to this Riley County standards, I've excerpted some of the things out of that, and the first thing that came to my attention in here was that engineer reserves the right to adjust these standards. And the standards that I'm addressing today is that if the preliminary plat of the subdivision has 20 or more lots, it must be paved. Looking at the line above that, one of the other criteria for being paved, if any lot size and development is 0.8 acres or less, it should be paved. Seemed to me that this document was prepared with a much higher density development in mind. My lots are on the first phase are 11 plus acres average. The ones on the right are a little bit smaller, 7 plus acres average. Very low density development. And the other thing that comes into play in here is that all entrances to a platted property shall access onto a continuously paved public road. So that would mean that Thomas Ward Road right here, the Tuttle Creek Boulevard is right here, highway. Thomas Ward Road is about 900 feet of county right of way through there. And so according to this document, it should be paved in order leading into the subdivision. Initially, Leon, in one of our discussions, Monty and Bob and Pat Collins was at that meeting, I believe, agreed to waive that paving requirement of Thomas Square Road. After a meeting with the Road and Bridge Board, he kind of changed his thought process on that because of some outcome of that meeting. And anyway, in order for me to proceed forward with this subdivision, I need to know what I have to do, what I'm going to be required to do, not required to do, and so forth. So that's why I'm here today, is to appeal to you 3 questions. Would you waive the paving of Thomas Ward Road? I have 23 lots. This is lot 23 right here. I would like to divide that lot right there and make it 2, and we do 24 lots. I'm asking, would you waive Thomas Ward Road paving? Would you waive the 20 lot requirement of the whole subdivision and allow me to do 23 or 24 lots with a rock road, not a paved road? Third question, if you uphold the requirement to do the paving, then this document says that the county may share in the cost of these improvements at the rate of 50% at the discretion of Riley County Commission. So if you require this to be paved, would you participate in that at a 50% rate? So I think Leon has some comments. One more thing I'll say is that I think this second document and the requirements in that did not come to light. Maybe, I mean, in their defense, Bob said, you know, in his tenure, he hasn't had this many lots come forth in a subdivision proposal in his tenure at Riley County. So I think these hadn't surfaced, and so they weren't on the forefront of their minds at that point, in Leon's defense. And also might add, these people have been very cordial and well to work with, and I appreciate them, but as we know, there's a lot of things in this world we don't agree on between 2 different peoples. That's where we're at today. I have an opinion and Leon has an opinion, and so leaving it, that's why I'm here today, is to appeal to you, the commissioners, to make this decision. Thank you.
Leon or
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good
morning.
Leon Hobson, Director of Public Works. As Lynn said, we've met several times on this. When we met the first time, I thought I gave you a copy of that, but I don't know. I've slept several times since then, so.
I don't remember what point that was either, but it was after, it was a couple of months after I purchased the property, something like that.
So this subdivision was brought to not myself, and we compared it to the document that Lynn is referring to. We also had another development that was brought in just for a preliminary review, and both of the developers had the same type of concerns. Should the road leading up to the subdivision, does that need to be paved? And does it need to be paved within the subdivision if there's 20 lots or more than 20 or more lots, as the document said? So already we had the first 2 developments that were being considered. They were already asking for waivers. And so that's kind of when I kind of took a step back and said, okay, if I have a document here that we're trying to regulate by, and I'm already doing waivers, I need a little bit of assistance. So I took that back to the Road and Bridge Advisory Board, who is the board that originally adopted or recommended that to the commissioners for adoption. And we spent the last 2 meetings specifically talking about those kind of things. And we've had a lot of discussion. And Jeff's here today from that board if you had questions of him of anything. But we had a lot of discussions. We had a lot of, what are the pros and cons to all of those things? And should we do this? And how do we come up with the 20 lots? Is that just an arbitrary number? Well, the main reason we are looking at the paving came down to, I would say, dust control. Because we've had a lot of times, and the same way with, being adjacent to a paved road. We've had other subdivisions where the public would come and they would complain, all that's gonna do is put a bunch of dust into my yard and we're also gonna have safety issues on the road. So the way I recall the original intent was for the paving was to solve not only the dust, the safety issue and driving on the road because of the dust, but also because of the homes. Now, there's other advantages to paved roads. We all know those. And so it's not just a dust issue, but that was one of the primary reasons that we felt like this could happen. So during these 2 meetings, we looked at an intermediate option was for dust control, just to put some sort of the mag chloride out that we use on a lot of our other roads. And the board considered that. Again, there was a lot of discussion on that. They thought, at one time the intermediate process would be good. But the final decision they came up with was it was just inevitable. It was going to move to a paving anyway. And so why muddy the water, so to speak, and do it, now, go ahead and just pave it. We also looked at our neighboring county, Potawatomi County. Jeff does a lot of work over there, and he brought it to our attention. They require any subdivision with 2 or more lots to just be paved. So we're already more lenient than Potawatomi County in that respect of the 20 lots. So the board as a whole, and the way basically was fine with the way it was written in the document, and other than making some minor wording changes, determined that they did not want to consider an intermediate step, but that they wanted to leave the document as it was presented originally. So like I said, Jeff's here if you have some questions. He was involved in those discussions as well. So, and Monty as well was there. So, Monty, do you want to?
Good morning.
Morning.
The only thing I think I would add is that we didn't even want to consider the alternative, the dust control option, unless we could come up with a mechanism that would ensure that the residents there are going to pay for it over time, continuously. So we met with Greg. We came up with an option through an improvement district. We would have him as part of PUD, form an improvement district with a contract, so forth. We can make that work. But as Leon said, the board really leaned to, let's leave it the way it is, because that's all kind of complicated. And eventually folks are going to get tired of it, want it paved, and then they'll have to go through the whole paving district. And again, Pot County is much more restrictive apparently than we are at this point.
My major concern isn't so much the dust control, it's gonna be the snow and ice and thaw and freeze on a non-paved road with that many particular lots and residents there. Just over the last few winters, that's been major issue just throughout Riley County in general. So it's something you got to take into consideration too.
Did you have something, Fred?
And I just wanted to add, I did talk with Monty and Leon. We looked at this improvement district option. Of course, the board didn't want that. In thinking about this the last couple of days since I last met with Monty and Leon, if the board is going to think about taking some action on Mr. Blecka's request, the thought I would have is that you might want to consider reserving that for a later date when you have a full board.
Yeah, that's
It's possible too, yeah. That would be,
That's just the only thought I have.
which is a good thing. So, yeah, I think I would like to have the full board to make sure that we all understand. And I can understand the county's view and I understand Lynn's view. And I'd rather have Ron here also to be able to make that decision.
Just so I'm clear on a couple of things, and whoever can answer this is fine. Who's responsible for the maintenance and upkeep of that road currently?
Okay, that road's not there yet, right? Just Ward Road is there.
Yeah, Thomas,
Right.
just the first part, and that's a township maintenance.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And the rest of the road, if it was a rock road, would be township maintenance.
Okay.
If it were paved, it would more than likely be a county road and county maintained, just from the standpoint, most of the townships don't have the capabilities
Right.
of maintaining.
Okay.
An attorney just can't say one thing, he has to hit these two. So, the additional thought that I want the board to keep in mind, I mean, there is a provision that the county may share in the cost of a paved road within a subdivision, but keep in mind that we have the legal standard that, we're spending taxpayers' money, and so that's supposed to be for public purposes. And so, I mean, this standard appears even in street benefit districts that the commission will have to make a finding that for some reason, I mean, have to make a finding that subdivision road has public value or a public purpose to contribute county tax funds towards that construction. Now, not saying you can't make that finding. I mean, there may be facts that support that, but you have to make that specific finding because you are spending public funds.
Okay. Leon?
I just want to clarify, we would not be asking the county to share in the paving of all of this.
Right.
It would only be this portion, this 900 feet of Thomas Ward Road.
Okay. And would the rest of the road have to be paved?
Well, that's what you're gonna have to decide.
Okay.
By our current standards, yes, depending on, with the current layout and the current number of lots in 24, anything 20 or more has to be paved. So, and then the other part of it is it has to abut to a continuously paved road, which would be Highway 24 out here. This isn't currently rock. So this was the portion that Lynn was asking for the 50% cost share on, was already what's a public road, not the internal subdivision road. So I just want to make that part clear.
So it was the fact that the contractor would have to pay for the Thomas Ward Road, 50% of that.
Well,
Cost.
again, that's an option. It says may, and that's a commissioner decision, as well as, I mean, this is the commission approved this document.
Okay.
So if you want to change the document, we can always change that document. And that might be a better avenue if you decide to do something. Maybe we want to change the document rather than create a waiver or something, because you start making exceptions or whatever without some sort of criteria, it kind of sets you up for future
problems.
problem.
We need uniformity on that,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that may be something, if you want to do something, we may want to look, and we're going to be doing a little bit of wordsmithing in the document anyway and bringing it back. So
Okay.
that would be an option that you would have as
So
well.
I feel that we should have Ron also
No,
here.
that's fine.
And so I'd like to delay it till we can get him. When is he supposed to come back?
Next Thursday, I think.
Thursday. Is that something that would hurt you to come back Thursday and,
Do that?
yeah? Because that way we can get a better opinion, with Ron to look at this whole thing of what we're gonna do. I'd rather have the entire board here to make the decision, whatever decision we make. And that way we will have some time to think about this and see how the would work, if that's okay with everybody.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I tend to
Work
go,
all right?
from my personal perspective, I tend to go with the thought that it probably needs to be paved at this point in time, but
I understand, but let's wait for Ron to come in.
do we make official motion to table this till a later time or?
You can.
Do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we table, the motion for variation in roadway design and platted subdivisions till a later time.
Okay. You don't have any date on that then? Okay.
Depends on when Ron's
Okay.
back.
Okay,
We'll tentatively reschedule for
Okay.
next Thursday. then.
okay, I second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Want to make sure we do it.
Especially if we're gonna change, paperwork and we're gonna change a document. That kind of is a good idea.
Lonnie and Leon, you can be here next Thursday.
I think they can.
Give me one or the other, Leon.
Well, nothing else, your replacement will be in place. She can join us too.
Yep, I had staff time, I was gonna bring her along in.
Okay.
Yes, I can make that.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Time for Elizabeth.
Elizabeth? Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well, as you know, I haven't spoken before the commissioners before, so let me know if you want this in a different format, but I have a memo there that, as I understand, I wasn't present at this meeting, I wasn't here yet, but as I understand, the department heads met on the 19th and asked, well, really discussed the possibility of this year rollover of the leave policy due to the effects of COVID-19 on people's ability to take leave. And out of that meeting, the group would like to ask the board to temporarily remove that maximum annual leave carryover just for 2020. So that means that no one's annual leave would be changed to ESL. And I do have those totals if that's something that interests you, but I think everything else is pretty self-explanatory. And I don't know, Rich, I think you were at the meeting and I know you were.
I wasn't at that meeting, but I was aware of the discussion because Cindy and I talked about it because that meeting was right after the election, the day after the election, so I didn't participate in the meeting. But it's just due to, like I told you, gentlemen, staff has not had an opportunity to take any time off since this whole COVID thing. And I put an emphasis on my staff to take off, the short time period that we have in between now and the election, but it's consistent among all the departments. It's just, the workload's been so much more that people have just not been able to take annual
Would
leave
agree.
off. And so, of no fault of their own, they would have that leave roll over into ESL and not really get the benefit of their annual leave. And so that would be the intended purpose of this request, and it would only be for this year at this time.
Well, I think also with the situation with the schools and kids and everything else, this would be another usable tool for our employees if they have to be at home.
Yeah.
Between now and, well, basically the entire school year. I mean, I think that's a realistic thought, so.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't have any problems.
Do we need a motion on that?
We do, please.
Okay.
Let me get back to my original screen here, so I know what I'm actually talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion that we approve the annual leave rollover requests for 2020.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then if you would send out an email. Thank you. Next, gentlemen.
See, that didn't hurt.
No, it didn't hurt. It was great. I just want to do it in the format you have.
No, it works perfectly fine.
10:45, we have road Spencer, gentlemen.
Oh. I think the appropriate song is Gloom, Despair, and Agony on Me.
True. That was a good show.
Yeah.
I used to like that one.
Hee haw.
That might be before John's time.
It is. I was gonna go with REM's It's the End of the World as We Know It. Which ironically was the theme song to our high school graduation.
What was that?
REM's It's the End of the World as You Know It.
No, never paid attention to it.
A little bit after your time.
I'm still stuck on classical music and big band music and the music of the 50s and 60s. Way before your time.
Oh, yeah.
You could actually understand what they're singing. There's a tune. And when the person starts singing, the rest of the background
It's very
music
little.
drops down.
There's very little singing. It's mostly all instrumental.
Well,
Mostly.
No, no, what? I said the big band singing and the 50s and 60s of their deals. Because every time they would come and their voice started coming on, they would lower the music in the background so you could hear their voice. And they used to do the same thing with the movies. The music in the movies would drop back down, whatever the scene was, fighting or whatever, so you could hear the people talk.
You know, it's not like regular TV program and commercials now.
Yeah.
Watch a TV program at, normal volume and the commercial comes on and you're dead for the next 3 hours.
Breva.
Hello.
Yeah, good
How are you
morning.
all?
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So far, so good.
Yeah, that's good. Are you ready for me?
Not
Are you
yet.
staying on time?
10:45.
Okay.
10:45.
See, that game was tonight or this weekend?
Saturday.
Saturday?
There might be another one. Might be like division. No, there is no other divisions this year. That might be the only one. So I'll just consider that the kickoff classic this year.
There you go.
Memphis and Arkansas State. I guess it's a good look at who we're going to play in a couple of weeks with
Yeah,
Arkansas
that's
State.
interesting. Yeah, there's some coaches that'll be watching that.
Mhm. You've had a pretty good week of recruiting too. And maybe it's just that I'm not used to them recruiting so early in the preseason and throughout the season, maybe
They're
too.
definitely more aggressive at it now. That's for sure.
Dual athlete, 3-star out of Arizona. That's not usually a hotbed of a recruiting spot for us. So it's interesting.
Yeah, they really thought was gonna go to Arizona State.
Mm-hmm. Fellow teammate of his decided to go to Arizona State, so it was kind of a given, but I guess not.
Yeah. Unique, I think 6'5" and 200 for a safety.
Yeah, they're projecting him as a safety.
I hear they'll beat him up and he'll be a linebacker.
I think you're probably going to be with that kind of rover back that you kind of use in a nickel package in certain.
And length and speed, you can eat up some passing lanes. Good basketball recruit, it sounds like.
Could be. Yeah.
Another guy.
Yeah, I know.
6'11" or so.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to have to grow into his body a little bit there to be. You know, unless he's kind of like Dean Wade, where he just can shoot from all over. And
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Mhm. And if we have basketball this year, the team will be interesting. A lot more talent, but just really no experience.
Talent's willing to work.
They'll improve. That's probably for sure. There's been some talk of doing a college bubble, kind of like they're doing with the NBA, and kind of spreading it out over a couple of places. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know how it'll work.
Good, thanks.
Getting close. You can go ahead and get up. By the time you get there, it should be there.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay.
Okay, you're on.
Okay, thank you. I'm Breva Spencer. I'm the maternal and child health supervisor at the Riley County Health Department. And we received a grant opportunity called the Technologies for Families Grant. And so I'm here to present on that today and hopefully get the approval of the BOCC. The purpose of the program is to ensure Kansas families during the pandemic have connectivities and supports and devices they need to access services. So a lot of our home visiting families that we work with, they either are not able to come to the office for an office appointment, or they're not maybe comfortable with us coming into the home. And so this is a great way we can still reach them, connect with them on a weekly basis, and provide the supports and services that they need. I've been working with Kevin from IT to be able to get the best devices we can for the families and have it run as smoothly as possible. So we're gonna order iPads that already have built-in Wi-Fi, and then the services will be paid for out of the grant. So they'll have Wi-Fi connectivity services until the grant ends, or we're looking at some ways to sustain this past December 31st when the grant funding has to be expended. So we're looking at opportunities for that. And then the families will keep these devices. So it's not a loaner program. It's not anywhere where we check them out and they check them back in. They will keep them. They will be responsible for all the maintenance, any upgrades, anything like that. And we will have an agreement that we will type up and go over with them so they kind of know the expectations. And then they're free to keep it and they can go to public spaces. If we're no longer providing the Wi-Fi services, they can go to public venues that have Wi-Fi and whatnot and be able to connect. This is a great opportunity. They can do telehealth visits. It's much greater than just home visiting for our programs. They can do telehealth visits. They can do any school services that are remote or online. And then if it toddler services, parents as teachers, that kind of thing, if they aren't able to go into the home. So with that.
How many dollars are you talking about, the grant?
So we proposed, I think it's around $17,884. We did go on the higher side, purchasing iPads. If we don't get the full funding for the grant, Kevin and I talked about getting a lower cost device.
Okay.
Just so we're able to provide it to more families.
So you haven't got the grant yet?
Correct. So I'm here today to apply for the grant. It was a quick turnaround. So we got the grant last week.
Yeah.
Kevin and I have been working diligently to get it typed up and get things in order. And then it's due tomorrow. To the
Okay,
state.
no problem.
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
I think it's a really good deal, actually. Are you looking at ways to be able to extend that post-pandemic as well?
Yes, so
Yeah.
I talked with our maternal child health program coordinator at the state, and she's looking at maybe wrapping some funding into our, we apply every year, and maybe wrapping in some funding for continued services into our maternal child health grant, which comes due usually in March.
I think these teletech services are going to be a new thing, and it's going to be beneficial to everybody involved. So the opportunities we get to look both in the short and the long term are probably going to be pretty important.
Yes,
So, yeah.
and in addition, those that are not able to maybe navigate a device, we're going to purchase phone cards. So a lot of our Spanish speaking clients, they usually don't have cell phone minutes or unable to get a hold of them and things like that. So the phone cards will be available as well for those that maybe can't navigate the devices or, want to do phone services instead.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we approve the Riley County Health Department's Maternal and Child Health Technologies Family Grant.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you so much.
See, that wasn't hard.
I'm sorry?
That wasn't hard.
No. Reasonable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing it. Keep us informed. It's how the program went.
I'm sorry?
Keep us informed of how effective it was.
Yes, I will,
Yeah.
for sure. We have, we did kind of a poll with our families, and there was about probably 15 families out of our 20 that don't even have any type of device, like a laptop or iPad or anything. So I think we'll be able to fill this big gap that we're kind of seeing.
Be great.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you for your time.
Okay. Okay. Any other thing from staff that you need?
Do not, gentlemen, I don't have anything else for business today.
John, do you have anything else?
I
you wanna
don't.
Talk about?
No, I'm good to go. We got another recovery task force meeting this afternoon, so there'll be
And I'm not,
quite a bit to discuss on that, but that's
I
about
don't have
it.
anything that I do want to discuss, so
Fair enough.
go with that. So,
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we adjourn.
second, in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.